Hello, my loves. Welcome into this new moon in Aries Act 2 solar eclipse reading. This is for you if your house, this is for you if your fourth house is Aries ruled, which is for those who have Capricorn Rising. It's also for you if you're using a different house system than the whole house system, and 29 degrees, 50 minutes of Aries shows up in your fourth house. Sorry for the difficulty I had getting that out. These have been such unique readings so far. So I am out of my element and just rolling with the imperfections. If you have not already watched the introduction to these readings, please go do that. There's some explanations in there that are going to be required for you to understand really what it is that I'm talking about here. So I do recommend you go watch that. And again, if you want to dive deeper into this material that I'm going to be talking about here, the interview that solves the human condition and saves the world is an hour-long video that I do recommend you check out if you want to learn more about what it is that I'm trying to explain in a shorter amount of time. All that being said, let's talk about your fourth house. This is where this new moon in Aries solar eclipse is happening for you. So this is what's really being focused on for this eclipse season, and we're going to focus on this house for the next 6 months and how to really apply the intention of being freed from the human condition to this area of your life. So fourth house is a house of home, ruled by the fourth sign of the zodiac, which is Cancer, dealing with nurturing, family, youth, origins, and ancestry. Oh my gosh, what a big place to discuss this content and material. Before we get into how this house relates to being freed from the human condition, let's review the Act 1 advice that we got for this house here. You guys got the past life issue card, and it says the situation has a basis in one of your previous lifetimes. Ask your angels to help you remember, learn, release, and heal from your past experiences. So, I'm going to start actually here with how this human condition content and being freed from it relates, I think, to the fourth house. Obviously, nurturing is a huge word to have in this area of your life because the human condition deals with the true nurturing ancestry of humanity that we have been unaware of until this point. And the psychosis and neurosis that has developed in humanity, creating the human condition from that lack of nurturing that we've received. And it explains why we had to walk away from this nurturing, altruistic, loving existence. Because we were developing a nerve-based learning program system. And that adaptation system, right? It's for our ability to adapt quicker. We're developing a nerve-based learning, and that had to go against our nurturing programming because it had to learn through trial and error. It wasn't enough to have 10 million years of this works, keep doing it. The intellect had to understand, well, if I do this, then this happens. Last time I did this, this happened, so I'm going to try this and see what happens if I do this. So there's been a lack of nurturing, a lack of unconditional love and selflessness because the intellect developing in the human species has had to learn what happens when altruism is not the default. And so it feels like we're heading back to altruism being the default. And that's really what's going to free us from the human condition. And for you, for the next 6 months, the guidance here is to focus on your home, bringing nurturing into your home, recognizing that there's an extreme lack of nurturing. There's a nurturing deficit and attention deficit for every single person in our lives, bringing it to your family, looking at your family unit, tribal unit, or family relations. I do recommend going to your family if that is a healthy choice for you. If you want to just do this work on your relationship with your family without interacting with them, that is an option. But if we are able to heal our familiar relations, we're more poised as a species to heal the tension that exists in our larger species, or species at large. So that feels really big. My beautiful Capricorn risings, my beautiful 4th house Aries, 29 degrees, 50 minutes. Also youth. Big focus of this house is the youth. As you dive into this material and this understanding deeper, and I do recommend doing that over the next 6 months. I know that what I have discovered over the last 6 months that I've been learning this, I'm coming to you with this at my 6-month period. What I've learned is the extreme importance of loving our children, of nurturing our children, of providing the container for our children that is as close to the ideal nursery conditions of our ancestry as possible, so that they don't have to go through the psychosis and neurosis that we've had to suffer. Now that we know, now that we've learned enough, our intellect and instinct can start working together again, and we can raise children whose intellect and instinct works together seamlessly because they were, again, raised in a condition and in an environment that fosters this altruistic, loving, selfless cooperation for the good of our species, for the survival of our species. So that's a big thing in this house. And of course, forgiving your family for their human condition and the ways that it has traumatized and hurt you and caused trauma in your life and in your family, and the ways that you have dealt with the human condition that has been detrimental to your family, right? It goes both ways. And lastly, the ancestry. So that's the past life issue card that we're going to circle back around to here. Recognizing our ancestry, and that we have a vast inheritance from 10 million years. Our ancestors for 10 million years were cooperative, loving, and selfless. And then for 2 million years, there was upset. And this cycle that we're in right now, the cycle that you, particularly Capricorn rising, are in right now, is about healing from that 2 million years of past lives that were not loving at all, that were very destructive, very competitive, very angry, alienated. There's a lot of energy that's coming around full circle now, okay? And you can be freed from that. You don't have to beat yourself up for things you did or may have done in the past, okay? Just understanding that you, in particular, are getting a message about the ways from the past that are influencing the now, okay? And it's saying to learn and heal from your past experiences. And this could be a past life. It could be just past this life, but, you know, from your past in this incarnation. And that healing what you've done and what others have done to you because of the human condition, letting that go, setting that aside, really resolving that as, oh my gosh, this is explained. We were all working on developing the intellectual faculties of this human species. And now that we got it, time to move on, time to go back to our instinctual nature. And our instincts and intellect can work together with the mind of a child and the body of an adult. Okay? And that's really the future that we're building and creating. So for the next 6 months, focusing on your family. And this doesn't mean jumping right in and forcing your family to understand this material and content. It just means being present for your family, seeing them through a different lens, seeing the adults in your family as children who lacked nurturing in their youth, as children who have suffered from a mental illness of questioning their worth and seeking validation in a variety of socially acceptable and socially unacceptable ways, in a variety of ways that supported the family and hurt the family. And just recognizing this causation for what you have experienced from your family up to this point, and showing up for the children in your family, for the youth of your family, in a much more heart-centered, much more open way, recognizing that their innocence is the state that humanity is on the way to returning to, and that it is valuable, it is worth protecting, it is worth standing up for, it is worth nurturing. And recognizing too that the adult children that are suffering from a soul illness, their souls really need this nurturing at this time, so that they can heal from their formative years as well. Okay? You're going to be focusing on your home for the next 6 months. You're going to be bringing this human condition content into your home. You're going to be offering nurturing. You're going to be resolving past life issues. You're going to be looking at your ancestors in a way different way, connecting perhaps with the ancestors from 10 million years before our 2 million year fall, and really allowing that to inform your decisions moving forward. Thank you for this important work. Thank you for being here with me on this journey. Thank you for opening yourself up to hear this message and to understand this content. And let me know how this resonates. Let me know if you have questions. And as always, namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors the universal light within you. Namaste.